Welcome back to Giant Monster Games. My name is Ted, and this week we're playing the Hunted Orb. Okay, so this is a good hand, with the exception that we don't have an orb of any kind. We can tutor one. I'm not entirely sure what to do here. We're going to risk it for the biscuit and hope that we draw an orb, or at least another land so we can tutor an orb with Shred Memory. So our opponent's turn, what do they got? Okay, so they got a Blood Crypt, untapped, and they're going to lead up with Faithless Looting. Okay, so I wonder if we're going against some kind of a combo or reanimator deck. If that's the case, it doesn't bode too well for Doomblade. So, okay, let me expand the graveyards here. Or at least theirs. Ours isn't really important. So they got Yahenni's Expertise, Liliana's Caress. We did draw the third land, so that's something. And we'll pass it back to our opponent. It's a bit slower than we like, but at least it's consistent plays from that point on. Waste Not. Okay, so this is some kind of a Waste Not deck where they're going to have us keep discarding a lot. Do we want to bother running the Pit-Dweller out? I don't think so. Just because they could have a Bolt in hand right now, and that's just a free 5/4 for them. You got to play Pit-Dweller cautiously when there's no orbs, but it's definitely possible. Okay, so our opponents exiled some Spirit Guides, and they're going to Dark Deal. Okay. Well, in response to that, I'm going to Shred Memory and get rid of his graveyard, because Shred Memory is going to the graveyard anyways, and I don't want him to flash back the looting. So there goes 2 horrors, a Pit-Dweller, a land. Ouch. Okay, so we got some orbs. We're going to be taking some damage here. Yeah, he got us with a bunch of creatures. Ouch. Okay. So it's our turn now, and I'm going to run out Torpor Orb. Then I'm going to pass the turn back to the opponent. And we're going to take 8, go down to 12, and they pass it back to us. So I think they're just kind of out of fuel at the moment, so I'm going to run out the Pit-Dweller. And I'll run out a Sundial as a future protection from instants during our turn. Okay, that's fine. We get a bigger creature. So our opponent's got 0 cards in hand, and we're going to pass it over to them. What did they draw? Okay, so we're going to eat one of their tokens, and hopefully they don't have like a bolt or something to finish off our Pit-Dweller. Okay, it didn't look like it. They're just trying to get in some extra damage here. So I'm going to throw out a Ghost Quarter, and I'm going to run out Avatar of Discord. And what do we want to do? They already have all the black sources and red sources that they could want, so I don't think Ghost Quarter is really going to help there. I think I'm going to play that this is something else, and we'll pass it over to our opponent. If they try to do something at instant speed, we'll just remove it with Sundial. Nope, they do not. Okay. Our opponent's up to 2 unknowns in hand. Okay, so they're going to Dark Deal. We're going to throw our card away and not get a new one. So they get to draw a card off of that. They decide not to go in for combat. And we're going to throw out an Eater of Days. And we're going to get in with our Avatar. And we're going to pass it over to our opponent. So now that we've amassed a pretty decent board state, I mean, they're going to need Burn to finish us off from here. Because the next turn we can keep Avatar back and keep throwing Eater of Days in the red. Okay, so they're going to Faithless Looting. And our opponent scoops up the match. Let's go to the sideboard. This is a really spicy deck. I have no idea, like, What is this? It's Waste Not, I guess. But, alright, so I think disrupting their combo is going to be very beneficial to us. Killing Wave, they don't want to pay for those creatures. What we can do right away is get rid of all of our Victims of Night, because it doesn't seem that they have any actual creatures. And their biggest win con is the Waste Not enchantments, zombie tokens. So we can't kill either of those with Doomblade or Victim of Night. So that takes care of what to pull out. Now I say we bring in Memoricide. You know what? Let's bring in Infest, because all they are is 2/2 zombies. We'll bring in Infest, and we can also bring in Memoricide or Killing Wave. What do we want? Extirpate. It's easier to play, and we'll just get rid of everything. Okay. I think this is pretty solid. Let's run it back and hope we get a good draw. Okay, so this is an interesting opening hand. See, they're trying to get to 4 mana, I think it was, maybe it's 3, to cycle everything away. So let's look at the value they'll get off of this hand. Okay, so they're going to draw a bunch of cards, get rid of 2 of our orbs, and they'll get 2 creatures. I mean, it's not that bad of a hand as long as we knew we were going to get another land. Because turn 1 we play the land, turn 2 we play a land, we play orb, turn 3, if we get another land, great, if not, we still throw out the horror. We'll keep it. I mean, odds are we will get a land, I hope. Don't be like Ted. Learn from my mistakes. This is not worth risking for the biscuit, but... Awesome. Alright, we'll pass it back to our opponent. And I guess it was worth risking it. I swear, every time I do it off camera, it just does not pay off. Okay, so we're going to throw out the Torpor Orb. Maybe they brought in some Artifact Disruption. We'll find out if they play anything this next turn here. Yep, they did bring in Artifact Disruption. Okay. Fortunately, though, we have a Sundial for backup. And we can pass it back to our opponent. And this will still allow us to get a Hunted Horror out next turn. Okay, so they're going to get back... if I had another mana available... Oh, no they're not. Goodbye, Noxious Revival. They did it on our end step, trying to be sneaky. Sundial removes Noxious Revival from the stack. And our opponent sent us a message. Oh. Alright. And their turn. And they're going to Inquisition us. Which they're obviously going to take our Hunted Horror. And yeah, there's no way we can respond to it. Okay, the horror is down. We do draw another land, though, which is fantastic, because now we're going to run out an Avatar of Discord. Alright, what do we have, opponent? Okay, so they're going to Lightning Axe our Avatar, which is fine. Okay, so we drew a Duress, which I think we're going to just use right away. See what our opponent's got. Okay, so they have Dream Salvage. Draw cards equal to the amount of cards target opponent discarded. And we're going to get rid of their Burning Inquiry. And I will transmute for a Hunted Horror. And we'll pass the turn. That's why I like Shred Memory, because most of the time we have options. And there you go, opponent. Our deck is really consistent at pulling out these horrors. Okay, so we're going to Duress our opponent again. And we're going to take a Dream Salvage, because well, that's all we could take. And we will transmute up another Hunted Horror. And then we're going to move to combat, and we're going to swing in for 7. Our opponent has no way to deal with it, and we will pass the turn. Our opponent has a Dream, Salvage, and an Unknown. Okay, so they're going to Inquisition away our Hunted Horror. They top decked an Inquisition, of course. And then they're going to try to draw. So they get a card. So we drew another Sundial, which isn't ideal, but we will move to combat and get in for 7. I'm really surprised that their decks are not running more like removal. They're just running preemptive destruction. I mean, not destruction, disruption. Okay, and our opponent scoops up the match. This has been Ted with Giant Monster Games, and I'll see you in the next video.